main purpose that brought me here was basically the movement. That's how I got involved, through the ceremonial way too, because me and my father, we live a traditional life, and it's good to teach the young ones a little bit about tradition and who they are and where they come from, that letting them know that they do have native, heritage and things like that, and there's certain ways to do things that's going to help them out, instead of spring break, them being out there on the streets, getting in trouble, things like that. They could be out here in the woods, in the cabin, learn how to pray with tobacco and in the sweat lodge, and just being with nature, getting in touch, balancing out for a while. It's basically just to get them pumped up and let them show their pride. What I'll say is, Husky! In Apache, Husky means men. And that's what we're trying to teach them to be, from young warriors to men. Husky! Greetings! Husky! Greetings! Husky! Greetings! Husky! Greetings! And I'll say, what time is it? What time is it? So let's say nation time, boom, boom, nation time, boom, boom. Right? And they'll say nation time because we're working together. We are a nation. We're different tribes, but we're a nation coming together. And they'll get that whole atmosphere going, and it'll start to get pumped up, and everyone can start feeling it. Say Mashika, Piawi, Mashika, Piawi, Mashika, Piawi. Right? And they'll just reply back to me, and it'll be an ongoing theme. Mashika, Piawi, Mashika, Piawi, Piawi, Mashika. And then after that, we'll say, Si se puede. 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 Si se puede, because that was something that Cesar Chavez used a lot of the time, and that's one of the role models that we're looking at here today at camp.
Does anyone have a prayer?
I'll ask things like, why don't you guys come help build a fire? Why don't you guys come and say the prayer for the breakfast, for the lunch, or the dinner?
Lord, asking you, Lord, for your blessings upon all my elders, all my youth, all my young ones. I pray for them to be strong, for them to be able to survive over these last days that we're going to be here. Bless the food, bless the refreshments, bless each and every one that's here and that's not here. Bless our families, wherever they're at. Bless them with their food, their refreshments. Help us that we're here, those that are struggling, help us to be strong. Help us to go through what we need to go. Help us to endure anything that we have to go through. Help us to face trials. Help us to overcome those things. Help us to be strong.
Throughout the whole week, we're just learning about teaching from Cesar Chavez. Different, people, our African brothers.
You can try to imprison our bodies, but you can't enslave our voice.
Simba brothers came down, and they joined us as well. And they're teaching us their ways while we're teaching them ours, as long as everyone learning from each other. We learn more from the little kids than we teach, and that's usually the way it goes, but it's good. I like it. It's a real beautiful thing for the children.
So far, what they really taught us to be is how they want us to be warriors, and what they really mean is like to see how we would grow up as men. They want us to be men and grow up as good men instead of bad men. And so far, they've taught us a lot of things about respecting women and respecting ourselves, respecting nature. And so far, I've understood most of it, but some of this stuff I couldn't understand, so Henry taught me a lot. And Henry is like the main elder, almost. And he's really wise, and he teaches me a lot of good things. Just like Nane, he teaches me a lot of good things too.
And he put out 4 flags. The red, the black, the yellow, and the white, which symbolizes the 4 colors of man, you know. And these 4 colors is, you put them in the 4 directions. And what the significance of that is that all 4 colors coming together is the same color as Mother Earth. Yes. But the fire of peace is lit because fire, as you know, is a symbol of warmth, the light, the sun, the core of the earth. You know, it warms it cooks our food, and then when we heat up we use the fire to heat up the lava rocks in order for the ceremonies. When we do oral traditions to storytelling, los cuentos, we sit around the fire. But the fire of peace is that once you light it, then it's important that it is kept on to the times of the celebrations are going on, or the retreat, or the seminar. Is that within this time, it's everybody's responsibilities to keep it lit and don't let it die out. So just be just a small fire. It don't have to be a big fire, but it has that significance. So when it's needed, then we'll light it.
And they bestowed this Baba title on me, and I tell you, it's really uplifted me because I knew what an elder was, but now I know what it feels like. And my job, somewhat, is to make sure that I help cultivate other elders, because too many times we have people who are elders, and they don't recognize that they are elders. And we recognize that our children have to look up to someone. And a lot of times they don't have an elder in their lives. They have old people instead of elders. So I think between Gaylord, Nane, and our elder Henry here, we have elders back in Chicago. Boy, it's just overwhelming. And Bobby being here now, I have to go home and digest all of this. You know, I want to think about the future, what's going to happen next week, but right now I'm just living this moment because we're making history. Well, 8 years ago, or maybe 9 years ago, Gaylord Thomas called me from Columbus, Ohio. He had heard about me from Pastor Harvey Stevens about doing rites of passage programming, a camp that would embrace some rites of passage attitudes and values, and a thing called the Nguzo Saba, which means 7 principles. And we diligently worked this camp out knowing that we had to have elders, we had to have nation builders, and we have to understand that we are connected to all the elements, to everything that's good. And we also have to recognize that we had brown brothers who was going through the same thing we were going through. Our first camp, we had about 26 boys, and it was good for them. And we made some mistakes and so forth. And then Gaylord called Nane and asked him some opinions about the camp. And he came out and to help us with some of our rituals. And right away we saw that it was just a good thing for Nane to be there. The kids responded to him readily. When he introduced the sweat lodge as a way of cleansing and purifying our nation builders, getting them ready to prepare for these kids they're working with.
And all these little young warriors, man, you got it strong. We can feel you. You know that the sweat lodge was going like this. You guys see that? It was just moving. You guys are so powerful. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for
We had a lot of other rituals as well, like libations or tambico, but we were missing something. And now they brought another ritual in honoring our ancestors and things of this nature. So we found that there was a different relationship with Native American culture and Mexican culture and brown people culture and black people culture until we said, why divide us? We already talked about, because one of our principles is emoja, which means unity. So to unite, we said, this is a dream come true to have Barrios Unidos and the Simba Circle together this way, for me to be here. Now, even though our kids haven't physically connected, spiritually they have. And our dream is to get them physically connected now so we can erase some of those myths about each other, so that we can unite and know that we have some of a common struggle with each other.
Learn the ways of peace, because to talk about peace is easy. To live in a peaceful way is very hard. So that when you grow up, you know, you don't have to worry about somebody shooting at you or you know, trying to stab you, or no matter where you guys are from, you know, that, you know, there'll be respect there. So that there's two little ones right here. You know, there's gonna be some little ones. Everybody's gonna be watching everybody else. So if the adults are not acting right and the children are watching us, they're gonna be doing the same thing. You know, so everybody here is going to be able to be a teacher. You know, if Tomas, you know, is not doing it, and his little ones are watching Tomas, you know, he needs to set an example for the younger ones. So we all have a responsibility, you know, to be able to lead each other, you know, to help each other. You know, this is something that has been coming for us here at Barrios, here in this area. You know, once we start this, you're going to be the pioneers. You're going to be those that are going to be doing this for the first time.
Barrios Unidos and the Simba Circle, the things that we go through, and the victims of all these isms, we all are victims of the same type of isms, whether it be racism, sexism, adultism. And one of our goals is to empower these kids because of all these isms.
You can try to take our freedom, but you cannot steal our choice. You can try to imprison our bodies, but you can't enslave our voice. Our words will be heard. Our words will be heard. So listen.
Warrior Circle is about trying to address the madness of what these youth are experiencing. One of the things that Nani and I realized early on and admit openly very quick is that their walk is much different than our walk. Even though some of us walk through some madness, they have a tremendous more obstacles to overcome than we did. The sense of, as Cornel West described, that nihilism, the sense of hopelessness is not there. Some of us adults get deceived by the material trimlings and trappings that we wear and trinkets, and we don't see inside that just because these youth are wearing $100 gym shoes doesn't mean they have it better or easier. We in the black community say crack cocaine has done to our families what slave hasn't done. It's destroyed our families. Slavery didn't destroy our families. And so this crack epidemic, and now it's led to crank, and now PCP's coming back, and even heroin's making a 360 turn. These drug epidemics have just decimated the black and brown communities across this country. So we knew early on that we had to create some sort of vehicle, some sort of model, or create a safe space where these folks could drop some pain. So like other camps, we have all the activities, all the crafts, sports, types of activities. It's usually more ethnic and culturally oriented, but there's still activities similar to other camps. But what we do different is we create a safe space of where they can shed pain, where it's okay to cry, where it's okay to talk about what's not at home, where it's okay to talk about folks that are using drugs and gangs. And so the Warrior Circle is a place where these kids can get a break, where these kids can see hope, and where these kids can get unconditional love. Some of these kids don't have positive male role models in their lives, and they have 10, 15 men that love and hug them and just can take anything that they want. Is an incredible, powerful piece. That's what the Warrior Circle is about.
the beautiful thing about the Warrior Circle is I think everybody walks away with something. The elders come here and they give, but they're also healed in the process of sharing themselves with the young people. And one of the things that I saw about the spirit here, that it was fewer young people, and people who were here last year as young warriors were stepped up to nation builders this year. And just to see that circle of leadership, that the albinos stepping up, and to see them put those lessons and those values to work in such a beautiful and special way was just, it lets you know why you're walking on this path.
You know, when I see a lot of hope in the kids' eyes, and I know they'll go back, because one thing we're going to do tonight is talk to them about how they have to continue the struggle, that we need them more than they need us in a lot of ways. So I guess I want to say that I look for this to cultivate. I look for this to be something this is just the beginning. I don't think it ever will end. I think it's going to help improve relationships between black and brown. I think that a lot more moms are going to sleep better.
It's one thing to teach, for example, young people about the life of Cesar Chavez. It's another thing to talk about the things that he did and he accomplished. But it's yet another thing to see the young people extract from that the values and the principles of his walk and his journey, and apply them in their conduct, how they treated each other, how they related and treated the elders, how they responded to their environment and the earth. All those lessons I saw really being acted out versus just regurgitated, and there was a lot of power in that, and I think a lot of that had to do with the spirituality that binds them together.
This feels good, and I really believe that I'm going to make it because these kids just give me so much energy. And well, I could talk for hours on this, but I just like being here, and I just want to say, Hotep, I want to say to all my relations, the ones that are here and the ones who are in the ancestral world, thanks for giving me all this help.
Every single one of the young people that we interviewed last night mentioned the lodge and how just the power of being in there with other people and letting all the things that keep them from walking a good path just melt away, and watching them just say that there's no other place that they've ever gotten that before was just very powerful.
And they come here to bless us with some songs, all right? How about we give them a little welcoming before.
You know, they come to us, you know, to the women. I think to some degree we bring balance here. You know, having Yvonne, you know, Amanda, and I've been pretty, consistent here. You know, I haven't been here like 24/7, you know, like these women have been here. But I've been here with them, and you know, they share a lot. They talk about their families, their issues, and they just want to know from us women, you know, how we see, you know, the world. I mean, what they're learning here is like, okay, am I hearing the right thing? You know, and I guess, I don't know, they see us as mothers to some degree or so. Some points I think they do see us as their mothers. I've seen, you know, one particular young man that's been coming here, you know, this is second year. I know that, you know, he says, I have a lot of respect for you guys here, but I don't have any respect at home. You know, that's something that we need to turn around.
young warriors that participated. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for giving us that spirit. I hope to see you next year.
And I want to thank them for their love too. They've given me some love since I've been here. They've reached out and embraced me. And I want to thank them for embracing the Simba people. They didn't know these folks. They didn't know nobody from the Bronx. And they brought them in like brothers. And it's true love. It ain't fake love. And I want to thank them for that.